So the scenario I'm about to describe happened on the east coast of the South Island of New Zealand, at a place called Hoki during an airsoft event called the Hoki Social. Now, the Hoki Social took place on a former mental asylum grounds in Hoki. So obviously there's lots of ghost stories and rumours of hauntings, etc. It's a fairly large field with a lot of open areas and 4 to 5 buildings, which makes it a lot of fun, CQB as well as a bit of open area field play. Or I should say it was, because the place doesn't exist anymore. It was subletted and then, well, half of it burnt down not long ago. And now that you've got a bit of history and backstory, let's get down to what actually happened this night. So it was myself and one other bloke. I don't want to name any names, so for the sake of this video and discretion, let's just call him Joe, okay? So all the games had ended for the day. It was about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night-ish, so it was dark. It was very dark, and we were doing our 1v1 in the yellow building. It was the building closest to the nurses' quarters, where we all stayed during the night after the games had finished, etc. It was your typical hospital setup with a long corridor and all the rooms coming off it. So we had just sort of finished one of our 1v1 battles. We'd come from our respective rooms into the hallway to reload and, talk about what we'd just done and how we just shot each other, etc. When I saw a set of lights go past the end of the hallway we were closest to. I didn't really think anything of it. I made a comment to Joe. I said, "Oh, it looks like we've got company." And before he could even respond, we hear this noise that sounds like, the only way I can really describe it is a stuck pig. Like a really high pitch, like a... Except much, much more terrifying. Although maybe that was kind of terrifying, I don't know. Mixed in with the pig's noises was like a distant-ish kind of like tortured screaming. And then over the top of those noises came like this weird demonic voice. Like he was saying like, "This is my space." Like weird stuff like, "Leave my space or I'll take you with me." Oh. Like, yeah, it was just, I can't remember exactly because if I'm being honest, it scared the living pants off of me because it was loud, it was unexpected, and it was dark. Like, I mean, it was echoing down the hallway. It wasn't just like, yeah, it was scary. Now, at this point, I still had some reasoning to me, so I yelled something back. I can't exactly remember what, because, like I said, it scared the shit out of me. But I've turned to my left, where Joe was, to sort of look at him and be like, "Yeah, man, that's not going to scare me." And Joe was gone. So I keep turning to my left until I'm facing the opposite way. Joe's nearly out the goddamn door at the other end of the hallway. I've never seen anyone, let alone this bloke, move so freaking quick. It was actually like one of those cartoons where you can see the person there and then they slowly become like a cloud and then disappear because they've moved so freaking quickly. So now any sense of reasoning that I actually had is gone because I'm completely by myself in a dark haunted hallway with a demon trying to steal my soul. So I say to Joe, "Oh geez, don't leave me," and start running after him in the pitch black, trying not to trip over all the shit in the way. It wasn't until the next day after breakfast that I had a memory and I put 2 and 2 together. See, the day before the demonic incident, so to speak, we ran into the groundskeeper of Hoki, and he went and showed us his little disco room and his cool lights and his speaker system, and he said how he had a speaker system in his car, and it was really good, it was really loud, blah, blah, blah. And I've gone, you know what? I saw a car drive past the hallway last night, and like 5 seconds later, everything went to hell, literally. Also, by this point, word had spread throughout the event, and one of the organisers came up to me and says, "So, groundskeeper Willie tells me that you guys had fun last night," and explained pretty much exactly what had happened the night before. confirming my suspicions and pretty much elating me of any lingering fear or uncertainty I might have had. But do you think any of this information could satisfy Joe? No. This incident broke Joe. Now, whatever you think I mean by that, I promise you still aren't grasping what I mean. It broke him all the way back to a childlike state. The dude didn't want to be left alone anymore. At one point, I said to him, we've just done a few games, I'm sweaty, I'm going to go have a shower. He says, "Can I come have a shower with you, G?" And I just look at him. And I think he realised what he said at that point. He goes, "Oh, no, not with you, at the same time as you, in the other shower, We went to grab some lunch down at Hoki, the local town, and he pretty much goes, "Oh, do you want to just go to the beach and look for Jade for the rest of the day?" I'm like, "Nah, dude, I'm here to play airsoft." And no matter how many times I said to him it was the groundskeeper, he's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure, G? Or, I don't know, are you sure?" And yeah, that night, the next night, there was no sleep. He was just like, every 5 minutes, "Are you sure, G, you reckon?" And yeah, it drove me crazy. I went and slept in the common room. I was just like, I'm not dealing with this. But then he came and joined me. And then I went back to our room, and he came back to our room. It was just complete insanity. So after the event ended and we all made our way home, the world went into lockdown. So yeah, we didn't get back to New Zealand for about 2 years. He hasn't gone back to New Zealand since. I stopped talking to him a short while after that. So I think the Hoki groundskeeper scared Joe out of New Zealand.